You're listening to Peterborough FM on 87.7 and online at www.peterborough.fm. One station, many communities.
Hello and welcome to Esoteric Discussions with me, your host, Valentine St. Aubin, a show where we go down deep into the rabbit hole. You can catch me every other Wednesday evening here from 9 on Peterborough FM and online. And if you want to learn more about me, please visit my website at valentinesaintaubin.co.uk. You can also listen to the archives of the show on my website as well. So it's the 14th of December 2011 and we've been having a few technical hiccups here in the studio, but we're still here and we are live here on Peterborough FM. As I had said in the last show, we've been having a Mercury retrograde phase, which means all things mercurial like computers and mobile phones and information and communication in general goes awry when we have Mercury retrograde. And while I have been flooded with technical hiccups these last few weeks with my shows, so just in case you don't believe that astrology is real, I've proven you wrong. Well, we're about 10 days away from Christmas Eve and Christmas, and 2 weeks before the end of the year. Can you believe it? 2011 has certainly been an interesting year, full of lots of turns and twists. Hopefully, you are ready for 2012, because it's going to be a hell of a year, especially once we get to the summer, because that is when Uranus and Pluto will be having their first square. Uranus is the mover and shaker, the revolutionary, and Pluto is the control freak, so we will certainly see showdowns between those in control and those who want change. So, I hope you're ready, because this is the time you've been waiting for. Don't be afraid of it, and also stay out of fear. You'll need to be thinking rationally and clearly in the coming years, not fearfully, if you want to weave through the coming transitional years ahead. I spoke about the Uranus square Pluto aspect beginning in 2012 in the introduction of the last show. So if you would like to hear more on this, please check out the last show on the 30th of November. But very briefly, Uranus and Pluto are due to square one another 7 times from 2012 to 2015. The first square will be in June 2012, but the energy as it approaches will be very chaotic. Hence why we are seeing so much confrontation and protest movements on a mass level. The last time Uranus and Pluto squared one another was in the period between 1932 to 1934. And during the 60s, Uranus and Pluto were conjunct, which gave us lots of social movements. The civil rights movement, the sexual revolution, just to name a few. So we are moving into interesting times. People are becoming socially aware once again, which in my opinion is long overdue. So this is the penultimate show. I'll be back with the last show of the year on the 28th of December, and I'll be highlighting some of my past shows and playing a bit of music. I'll also have a surprise guest on. I plan on having a fun show as I wind things down, and I'll be talking about certain things to look out for on the world stage in 2012. After that, I'll be taking a break during the month of January, and I'll be back with a new lineup of guests beginning in February. So we're finally seeing the back of Mercury retrograde. Yay! Well, according to my ephemeris, the planet Mercury officially turns direct today, the 14th of December. However, the shadow period is not officially over until the 1st of January 2012, which of course is New Year's Day. But you can actually tell Mercury is turning direct because it feels like someone turned the volume back up. It's becoming easier to communicate with others, not as many delays in communications or miscommunications. Electrical devices are beginning to run better. Emails are finding their destinations without hiccups. We're not clear completely, so if you are looking to start new projects, sign important papers or buy a new car, I would wait until the new year once we are safely out of the shadow period to make sure you have all of Mercury's attention. If you are new to what Mercury retrograde is, in short, when Mercury goes into a retrograde phase, anything relating to communications tends to have problems. So one can expect any mishaps with computers, mobile phones, technology in general, miscommunications with others, all can be blamed on the retrograde of Mercury. So moving on with the show tonight, I am joined by Alex G, who is the host of Edge Media's flagship show On the Edge on Controversial TV, Sky Channel 200. We'll be learning a lot more about Alex and also Edge Media after the break, but if you are not fortunate enough to have Sky TV or Freesat satellite, you're missing a fantastic channel. They've recently started streaming online once again, so Alex will talk about all of this after the break. But we're going to take a break, and when we return, I'll be joined by Alex G.
Boy, if you could read my mind, I'm sure that you could find
So tonight I am joined by Alex G, who is the host of the show On the Edge, which airs on Sky Channel 200 on Controversial TV, and he is here with me live in the studio tonight. And I don't want to waste any more time because he's got lots of great information to share, and I want to make sure that we have plenty of time to talk freely and for him to tell us about himself and about what is coming up in 2012 on Edge Media TV. So we're going to just take a real quick break, and when we return, I'm going to be speaking to Alex G. So hang on.
Give us this day all that you showed me, the power and the glory, till my kingdom come. Give us this day all that you showed me, the power and the glory, till my kingdom come.
All right, so we're back here with me, your host. I'm Valentine St. Alban. We're just going to open up Alex's mic and make sure he's with us here this evening.
There we go. Here I am. I can hear myself in my
Yes.
headphones. That must mean it's working. Yes.
Well, the speaking side is working, so welcome to the show. Sorry about the mishaps that we've had at the beginning, but we're here.
Right,
and-
terrific term you've created there. Oh my lord, I'm having a Mercury retrograde. That's fantastic. I shall be using that on the edge at some point very near future, I think.
Well, you know, when I always say Mercury retrograde to people, they always look at me like I've lost my mind because, you know, the average person doesn't follow astrology. But those of us that do, we know everything is energetic based, and whenever we have a Mercury retrograde, it always affects things relating to technology. So computers are always the first thing that we tend to have problems with.
I wish
So-
you weren't telling me this. I've got 4 hours of TV to do tomorrow. Goodness me. Right.
But nevertheless, we're here, and you have to laugh it off because, you know, as this is live radio, you do live television, and you know, you never get perfection all the time. So let's get on with things. So Alex, welcome. Thank you for being here in the studio with me.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yes, and I'm really glad to have you here tonight as well. You're a very interesting character. So let's.
Oh, bless you, darling. No pressure. No pressure here at all, is there?
You know, you're very good in front of the camera.
Thank you.
I've watched you on Edge Media, and you know, you do have quite a presence in front of the cameras. So,
Oh, I'm going all red here.
well,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
it's one of those things because I suppose you probably get people asking you, you know, how did you get into all of this? And I suppose with all of these things, it's just, well, we call it by chance, but nothing is ever by chance. You know, most of us, whenever we do something, we're meant to be doing what we're doing, and you find that road. So,
Yeah.
I mean, for yourself, you definitely have the talent to be in front of the camera. So let's just go back into the annals of time and talk about.
Oh, yes, we
talk
have that
about,
fade out effect now.
yes.
Woo, woo, right. Here
You're
we
going to
go.
be making me laugh through this whole show.
How far back are we going? I've regressed now. How old am I? Yes.
But let's talk about your early beginnings. How did you first get into television work? I know that you have this background with Cult TV. So let's
Yeah,
talk about
yeah.
the early days with Alex G and who Alex G is.
I mean, it all started back in school days when I found that I was not the only person who liked the work of Jerry Anderson. So we're talking the likes of Thunderbirds, Captain Scarlet, UFO, Space 1999. Went to Birmingham one day, found a comic shop, and in there was a fanzine, a fan magazine, done by fans for other fans. Never knew anything like this existed. So that was Fanderson, fans of Jerry Anderson, and that got me into the idea that it was okay to appreciate television, fictional TV, which was sort of stuff that stands repeated viewing, as do programs like Doctor Who and the Avengers and Star Trek and all that myriad of stuff where you can see a lot of people sinking into their chair now thinking about the sort of people who like this stuff. But this is the thing, the people you see in the media who are into this stuff, as usual, the mainstream media gets hold of the extremes. They don't get hold of the average Joe, if you like, or Josephine, who are into these things. So you get a completely distorted picture of what it is to be a fan of television. So to cut a very, very long story into an episode fit for Reader's Digest, that ended up with me running the Cult TV Society at Wolverhampton Polytechnic. We had more members in the Cult TV Society than all the political party societies put together.
Wow.
Which shows you...
Says a lot, doesn't it?
Well, it shows you where the bias is in Wolverhampton as to what's important, but there we go. That ended up running a fan magazine, and it all went quiet for a couple of years as I had to get a real job and try and actually earn some money. And that then led into, by accident, us daring ourselves, a small group of us, to do an annual Cult TV festival. So for 4 days we'd take over locations like holiday parks and the likes of old Pontin sites, etc. Heidi High on acid is probably a good description of what it was like from noon Friday Friday till noon Monday, a 72-hour non-stop party that we used to run, and that ran from 1994 to 2007. It sort of burnt itself out, and various commercial organisations got involved with fandom, and basically completely spoilt it for fan-run events like our own. So I found myself at that point actually starting to discover another interest. That other interest was, I'd say politically based, but it wasn't really politically based. It was more trying to understand people's motivation. And we're talking about the man himself, Tony Blair. Why did Tony Blair take his reputation and flush it down the toilet by supporting George Bush and going into Iraq? It made no sense whatsoever. He was a guy who was statesmanlike in the way he'd handled the Princess Diana murder, as we now know it was. And he has he literally will defend to the end of the earth the fact that he killed millions of people, millions of innocent people, for something that did not exist, which was weapons of mass destruction. And I could not get my head around it. Why did you do it, Tony? This makes no sense. So I then started investigating and thinking, where is this going? Why did he do it? And all points went to 9/11 as not being as advertised in your Radio Times, if you like, and it all pointed towards saying, well, hold on, whoa, what's going on here? What do you mean it's not the official story? The official story is wrong. There are faults with it. I just couldn't get my head around it. And it was this absolute sort of epiphany that I had to watch videos by a guy who is widely discredited still in the media, called David Icke. David Icke, who allegedly, most people say, went onto the Wogan show and said he was the son of God. No, he didn't say that. If you actually watch the clip again, you'll see he says, we're all the son of God,
Yes.
which is the basis of every religion on the planet. So what has he done so wrong? And then that led me to his DVDs. Bought a cheap set off eBay. Pirate copies, dare I say, but there you go. That's the way. They were cheap. I put them in, and literally this guy talks for hours, and he makes hours seem like minutes. I kid you not. It is one of those experiences. Once you see him talk, you realise why people listen to what he says. Because he does it with humour, he does it with factual basis. Everything he says, you can get it checked out, and there's ways to sort of make sure that his research is spot on, so that you can actually justify what he's saying. And it was just this amazing revelation. So that got me into finding out more about what was down the rabbit hole, because it is a rabbit hole. It's this huge thing. Once one little bit of what we are told in the mainstream is burst, it's like one balloon being burst, then the whole thing just absolutely explodes in front of you. Everything we have ever been told in every sphere is wrong. There is nothing that we are told these days in the mainstream media which is as we are told about it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And this actually, it's one of these daft things that the resonances with what I was doing with Cult TV came out very clearly. If you know your stuff about a certain TV show, whenever you see it commented on in newspapers or magazines, if you know your show, you will look through what they have written and you will go, wrong, 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 no, not strictly true. And now, I'm now doing that with every single story that we see in the mainstream. BBC, ITV, Fox News, whatever it might be, whatever the outlet, you go, wrong, wrong, not strictly true, wrong.
Yes.
And you're at that level, and this is the resonance with the background that I've come from, because it shows me that you cannot trust what is written about things. Sometimes it's done just out of naivety, ignorance, choosing the wrong sources to believe, and this is true about TV shows. You can actually, if you really know your stuff, if you're a prime grade anorak, you can actually say, I know where they got that fact from, I know which book that is from, and that's why it's perpetuated a lie about a TV show. But equally well, you can now see why lies are perpetuated about what we're told about 9/11.
Yes.
Because the facts are there, but you're not looking in the right place to back up what you're actually sort of taking as your view of reality.
It's interesting. I like how you've used those analogies. I came across an interview a few years ago, and it was actually an interview with Richard Hoagland, of all people.
All right.
And
Yep.
he was saying when he was doing his work with NASA, and he came across Gene Roddenberry.
Yep.
Obviously, we all know who he is.
Mm-hmm.
And Richard Hoagland was talking about the face on Mars and all of the pictures of the
Yep.
structures on the moon. And Gene Roddenberry he believed that. He didn't have an issue with that. But what he did say was, yes, but then why is it not on the television? Because if it's real, it will be on TV. And it's just a very small comment, but it goes to show you where these television producers, not everybody, but some are getting privy information.
Yep.
They're feeding it through the television shows, and then it's coming out into the mass media, obviously with a bit of spin on it, what have you. And you could probably get more information from a television show than you can from your local news stream, corporate news stream. And this is sort of where things are at the moment. So I think it's very interesting, how you've just shared with us your background with television and television shows, and then how you've gone on your own journey to awaken and start asking further questions. And I think that's been how I think lots of people have, over the last few years, been coming through, through this days of sleep and, wanting to know more, because we've been getting quite sophisticated with television shows as well.
Oh yeah.
I did a very interesting show a few months ago where I was talking about the MK Ultra, and I was talking about the show The Dollhouse, which stars Eliza Dushku.
Oh yes.
And
bless her. Oh
know, and the producer of The Dollhouse is also the same producer of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And if you watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer, there's lots of information in there in terms of the occult, and if you know your occult, you know what you're looking at. If you don't know the occult, you don't know what you're looking at. And the same with the show The Dollhouse. If you know about MK Ultra and mind control, you know what you're looking at. If you don't, you just think, oh, it's just another television.
It's just another piece of entertainment.
It's just another piece of entertainment, and they parade this in front of us, expecting most of us not to get it and not to catch on. But they are sort of. They are trying to, I suppose, I don't know. I mean, I think that they're trying to open up our minds in a strange way, or maybe play with our minds or toy with us. I'm not sure, but these producers, these writers, they're certainly tapped into something. Like what you were saying, how you've gone on this journey. I think maybe a lot of those writers as well are aware of certain things. Oh yeah. But they can't just openly talk about it, so they put it, into the scripts and what have you.
This sort of links into something that is one of the things that we actually say about the material that is presented to us, because I've had to go at the mainstream media here saying that everything they say is a lie. Well, I'll modify that. 99% of what they tell us is a lie. Yeah. But there is a belief system within those who follow the occult line of things, which is that in order to be able to have power over the population or people or an individual, you actually have to get their consent to what you are doing. Now, this means that they actually have to show you what it is that they are doing. So they put it out in front of you in plain sight.
Yes.
If you don't react, you have tacitly given your consent for them to carry on. And again, this is where it comes back to cult television, because this is Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. This is the Vogons having the plans to demolish Earth down in a cellar on some planet in Alpha Centauri, and it's our fault that we didn't pop over to Alpha Centauri and look at their plans. And this is actually what the elite are allegedly doing. They have to show us what goes on, and this is why you will get articles and features in the likes of the Daily Mail, the Daily Express, and the Independent now, where just the once they tell you exactly what they're doing. For instance, we've heard all about Europe and the Eurozone, and it's a big talking matter at the moment.
Yes.
But the major thing is, certainly in the Daily Mail, they have had features there that have said what the plan is, and the plan is to have a European army so that when it kicks off in the UK, it won't be our UK police forces or our UK armies who are on the streets. It will be European soldiers who don't understand English, who will be there, and you will not be able to engage with them, reason with them, or anything else. And they'll be in this massive, godforsaken armour which makes them look like a flaming transformer. And
using what knows the latest technology in terms of weapons and things to, sound weapons or whatever.
All of this stuff which people say,
things.
oh, that is science fiction.
Yeah.
No, it's now
reality.
science fact.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that people cannot quite get their head around. The technology is so advanced now, and certainly what's going on behind the scenes is probably 20, 30 years ahead of where we think we're at now.
Yes.
So, people were playing with their iPods in the shadows, if you like, 30 years ago. We're only now getting to that stage of development, of having that projected in front of us.
Well, just talking about technology, and we're just going off subject slightly, but I know you like your movies and your television shows.
Yes,
but,
yes.
In the movie Total Recall, I don't know if you remember that scene with Sharon Stone when she's doing the tennis, and it's like, virtual reality. She's playing tennis. She's learning how to. She throws the ball up. She swings.
Yep.
But now you have these video. I really don't know what they're called. But
the Nintendo Wii you're talking about with the little
yes,
control thing, and that's it. And
you can do aerobics.
Yeah.
You can. So that's showing you that they've been trying to formulate that technology for quite some time. They put it in the movies. They've been structuring it, working on it, getting it ready, and slowly bringing it out to the masses. And now in 2011. It's very commonplace for people in their homes to begin to start to have this kind of technology. So what you're saying is very true. This stuff is constantly around us. And if we're plugged in and if we have our eyes open, we see the messages they're giving us. And you're absolutely right. They always tell us beforehand what they're up to. It's
and
just, were you paying attention?
This is it. We'll be asking questions later, but this is the thing. It's we had a guest on The Edge a few weeks ago now called Terry Boardman, and he was suggesting that it was well worth looking into the transhumanist movement. And the transhumanists are aiming that by the end of this century that we are in at the moment, we as individual physical human beings will be no more, and we will just exist in cyberspace. And if you think about what is actually going on at the moment, you've got things like Second Life on the internet, where literally people are living another life outside of the reality of their flesh and blood existence.
Yeah.
And it's happening more and more and more. People don't even now get on the phone to talk to people. They text each other.
Yeah.
They go on Facebook and start a conversation. They don't even think about, I tell you what, why don't we meet up somewhere and actually physically, mono a mono, talk to each other?
That's true.
Oh, no, we couldn't possibly do that. No, I'll text them instead. And it's this disconnection.
Yeah.
And it's making us all literally individuals when we're all part of this great big pond, and we should be interacting with each other directly.
Well, that's absolutely true, and maybe that argument with the transhumanism argument, maybe there's something in it, because if we carry on the way we're going, we may not be in our bodies.
Well,
you know, the ETs
yeah.
will have preserved us, and
yeah,
you
I
know,
mean,
I don't know, but
it's one of these strange things. I only use my mobile when I'm out and about. If anybody wants to get me any other time
Yeah.
when I'm at home,
Yeah.
guess what? Use the landline. That's it.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
talk to you on that. And this already, we've got to the stage that people are shocked that I don't have my mobile on all the time during the day. And it's like, I don't. It's just, I don't need it.
yeah.
And this is the thing. You can see already people are moving that way. They're moving away from direct one-to-one contact. And, I mean, I got a sales background from years and decades ago. And it always used to be, they said, the best way to make a sale is always face-to-face. That's the way to do it. If you want any message spread, face-to-face is always the best, because people can see in your eyes your passion for something, why you like something. It's easier to interact. Everything else is one stage removed, and it loses that intimacy, if you like.
But you know, Alex, I think also maybe the push that they have with this whole social media thing, on the one hand it's good for people, on the other hand, do you think it's not also part of the scheme to, you know, kind of divide us in a sense? Because if we're in our boxes texting and emailing and not really having the face-to-face interaction, that stops the movements coming together, that stops people coming together. Obviously we're seeing at the moment lots of protest movements coming together, people coming together on the streets. For a long time people haven't been, you know, they've been happy with their fancy jobs and with money in their pockets and texting and on their mobile phones, and not really coming together for causes. And now we are starting to begin to see people once again coming together, which is a good thing. And lo and behold, they're trying to then cut back the social media because they're seeing it as a nuisance, because it's getting the word out.
It's intriguing because it's working both ways on social media. I mean, we had the cases during the London riots and the England riots where Facebook was blamed for, I think there were these two guys, you know,
Yes, they were
17,
charged.
18 year old.
They were
They were charged and found guilty for trying to organise a riot. And it was a riot to which nobody came, and not only that, they put it up one drunken night and it was down by the morning. So the thing is, straight away you are seeing that Facebook is already what we describe as controlled opposition, because nothing goes on without somebody somewhere looking at Facebook and knowing who's doing what and what will be allowed and what will not be allowed. And in fact, it's interesting that a lot of links to certain news stories which are going up on Facebook, people are finding are suddenly disappearing from their accounts. Now, Facebook will say, oh, that's just a technical error. Well, of course they would say that, wouldn't they? The actual reality may be something far, far different and far, far more sinister. And this is the thing. It's the element of control. Not only that, it is a sign of the society that Facebook now, you are showing anyone who has access to your account your entire social profile. Not just anything sort of minor, but they get your whole life, what you're interested in, where you go, what music you like, what TV you like, what films, what your politics are, everything else like that. And I mean, it is one of these things, when you put that together, that is one hell of an ability to control people, for you know exactly what buttons to press and what they fear the most, because when you know people's likes, you also know their fears.
That's right. Well, we're having a great conversation, and I don't want to run out of time, because I'd like to get all aspects of what you do and what you're interested in covered tonight, because I can have a tendency where I have guests come in and then we get busy talking and then we don't get to talk about all the things that they have to offer. So all of this stuff obviously falls within the domain of Edge Media TV.
Yes.
So
Sky Channel 200.
That's right.
Also available online at edgemediatv.com.
That's right. So let's talk about Edge Media. It's on Controversial TV, which Alex just plugged. Sky Channel 200. Now, it's not available on Freeview or
Virgin.
Virgin,
Yeah.
is it? But it's available on FreeSat.
Yes, if you're good with your FreeSat box, this is the system whereby you still have a satellite dish on the side of your house, but it's not a Sky box. It's effectively it picks up all the what they call free-to-air channels. So in other words, there's no subscription needed for it. The thing is, I also should say to people, if you are on Sky and you're thinking of leaving Sky, that doesn't mean that you stop picking up things through your Sky box, because this seems to be a common misconception. If you say, I'm cancelling my subscription to Sky, what will happen is you will just be left with the free-to-air channels on your box. So you can end up with a Sky dish on the side of your house and a Sky box picking up everything free-to-air. So that's your standard BBC, ITV, Channel 4 and 5 programmes and packages, but you'll also pick up Sky Channel 200, so controversial TV will be in your grasp. And again, with FreeSat, it's a manual tune. The instructions are on the front of our website, and you will be able to pick it up through your box. And literally, you look for controversial TV. It will. Most boxes, it'll automatically find it when you do a manual tune. So, two out of the 4 delivery methods in this country we've got access to. And for anyone outside of that, now you can actually watch it online. It's a subscription service, and the cash that we receive from there helps us stay on air. So it's a benefit both to the viewer and to the station for people to support us like that.
And let's just talk about the history of Edge Media and Controversial TV, Edge Media TV. When did it first go on air? Because I think I first found it back in 2008.
That's it. June 2008 was its first appearance, and it is one of these things that it is a labour of love channel. Virtually everybody taking part on it is a volunteer. That's myself included. So much like Peterborough FM,
What we do here, yes.
you give your
don't
time
get
up
paid, yeah.
because you believe in what you're doing.
That's right.
And this is very much the case with our channel as well. And we don't just look at, have to use that word, conspiracy side of things, but we also look at the spiritual side of things. So it is very much anything with an alternative view from the mainstream will find a home on Edge Media. And we broadcast from 6 a.m. in the morning till 10 p.m. at night. So, you know, there's a wide range of hours there for people to sort of dip in to see the various different programs we have. We go live with One Step Beyond at 8 o'clock on Tuesdays. Myself with On the Edge at 8 o'clock on Thursdays.
Now, the One Step Beyond, is that with Theo Chalmers?
Theo Chalmers, yeah.
So he's back again, is he? I haven't actually
He's there,
caught the
yes,
show, but-
yes. So, and again, he approaches it in a different way to the way we approach it. But equally well, we don't want to stand still. So we're looking at reformatting On the Edge in the new year, doing a few different things, and taking it into a wider direction than what it is at the moment.
Yeah.
And it is literally, I would hope that every aspect of what's going on in the world we'll cover in one show or another. We've just had a pair of holistic dentists on who have revealed all about what exactly is going on with the dentistry profession.
Well, I missed that show.
You know, and the dangers of the amalgam fillings, which contain mercury,
Yeah,
and the fact that the mercury is constantly leaking into your mouth. And not only that, the amalgam fillings, these are the things that sort of look like rusty old nails in your mouth. They are actually expanding through time in your mouth, so they are cracking your teeth.
Right.
So anybody who has got a mercury amalgam filling, danger, Will Robinson, get rid of it. Goodness me, it's not good for your mouth. And you also all have these dentists coming on and telling people the dangers of fluoride. The whole kit and caboodle that suggests that fluoride is good for your teeth, it's specifically the fluoride they are adding to water and putting in toothpaste, they absolutely knocked that into a top hat in terms of this is nonsense, and the only research which is backing up that fluoride is good for you is coming from the very people who are putting fluoride in the products and supplying the fluoride.
Yeah.
So no
Well, actually-
conflict of interest at all there.
And actually, if people know about fluoride, and if they know about Kundalini, and also if they know about the pineal gland, there are direct studies that show that the fluoride actually can harden the pineal gland, and you don't really want that, because the pineal gland is the access to your higher consciousness, as they say, and the energy has to be free flowing. So, fluoride is quite dangerous to the human body, and the powers that be know that.
Yeah.
You know, and so they would have it their way to keep your body dumbed down, but your body is a channel that can open up much wider and further. So that's very interesting. And on the Edge, they have you've kind of reformatted On the Edge, because I've watched Theo Chalmers in the past with the type of shows he's had, and I do think you've taken it in your own direction as well. You've really developed the show as well.
Oh, thank you.
You have, and brought further guests on, and opened up the remit wider with the types of topics that you talk about. So, but there's one thing I wanted to ask, because there was a time last year where it looked as if we were going to lose on Edge Media from the television, and I suppose you've overcome that now.
Well,
getting your feet back, and
it's a constant hand to mouth routine with Edge Media. We had an appeal called Edge Media Rescue, which was launched by Jim Core of The Cause, as well as Ian R. Crane. So the two of them spearheaded the launch of the campaign. What that campaign allowed us to do was to get back on air and secure the channel 200 on the Sky electronic program guide again, and for us to start making programs again. But it is one of these things that we've now progressed to asking people to show their support by joining our online subscription service. Now, even if you've got Sky Television, having £10 a month from 10,000 people would be terrific, for the simple reason that would allow us to expand the operation, to get more new shows into production, and again, it would attract guests of a sort of who won't do things for free of charge, because most of the guests we have on, bless them, come along because they are the sort of people who want the message to get out there. But I mean, there are people there who we can get the next level of star, who the people would know the name straight away, and that would be a huge number of people. That would mean more viewers would come in. As more viewers come in, more advertisers come in. So it's literally building this structure from the basement upwards.
Yes.
And it's all a question of the more support we can get, the more people who actually put their money down on the table for a subscription, even if they've got Sky, the better the entertainment that we can provide.
Yeah, that sounds excellent. And I mean, it is still early days for Edge. So I suppose you're still finding your feet and trying to find what works. And the key is, trying to get it out to the wider audience, because even though there are many people who are into these types of subjects and are awakening to these types of subjects, there's still plenty of people who want to deny it and actually just say, "Oh no, it's not real, though, is it?" And
well, I mean, I can take a comment from I did some contract work recently in Peterborough, and someone didn't have any sugar or sweetener for their coffee, and they said, "Anyone got any sugar or sweetener or whatever?" And I sort of said, "Yep, here, try this." And it was stevia. Stevia is not available in the UK or in Europe. It's a Brazilian herb. It's 300 times sweeter than sugar. It has 0 calories. Guess why the pharmaceutical companies who own the rights to all the artificial sweeteners don't want it to come to the UK or Europe?
why not?
Because it would completely wipe out sales of aspartame and all these things, which are very, very bad for you.
And in diet drinks, and
it's spreading everywhere. Find a branded lemonade which has not got aspartame in, be it diet or be it the full fat, full sugar versions. They've all got it in there now. I found it in pear cider now, and certain flavours of crisp are using it, and it's just like this stuff that they knew it was trouble, and that's why they stopped it going on the market for over 8 years. But then people engineered things around the back corridors of power in America in about 1981, and that was it. Suddenly it's everywhere, and it's lethal. And I pointed this out to someone who was saying, no, have this artificial sweetener instead. You don't want this. Oh, no, I've never heard of it. If I've never heard of it, it can't be any good. And it straight away... And this is literally where my catchphrase for On the Edge comes from. They wouldn't do that, would they? Well, yes, they would actually. They would actually give you something which is bad for you.
And have been.
And to try and explain that, actually these companies do not have your best interests at heart. And when we're talking about the pharmaceutical industries, they don't see you as a human being, they see you as a revenue stream. Their objective is to keep you as ill as they can for as long as possible, to prolong your life so that they can sell more and more of their drugs and medicines to the people who are keeping you alive. That's where the whole system has gone belly up.
And we're going to probably have to leave it on that note, but we've covered quite a bit of ground. It always goes so quickly. I'm always amazed at how quickly it goes, the time when we begin talking with the guests that I've had. And probably because the guests that I have so much to share, and you can't learn all of this information basically in 45 minutes or an hour. You know?
But Valentine, you will be joining us on Edge Media, Sky Channel 200 on New Year's Eve, won't you?
I will be there.
Between 8 p.m. and 10 p.m. We want to see you there.
Yes, I will be on there, so yes, look for me. Alex, thank you so much for joining me in the studio this evening. And
pleasure.
You've been a great guest. That's Alex G from Edge Media. You can catch him live every Thursday on Sky Channel 200, and that's going to wrap it up. This is the well, I have another show not next Wednesday, but the Wednesday after next. That's my last show of the year. I'm going to be recapping on a few shows that I've done since I started doing these radio shows back in June. I'll be talking about things to look forward to in 2012, and I'll be just having some fun. Hopefully I won't have any technical hiccups in that show, and I'll be joined by a surprise guest. So, as usual, I just want to say thank you for listening, and I'll be back, as I said, in about a fortnight. But until next time, keep your eyes on the stars.
Peterborough FM, one station, many communities.